Bloomers in the Garden. I'm Len Schroeder.
And I'm Julio Zamora.
The fall fireworks have started, and the autumn leaves are putting on a colorful show. Have you ever wondered why? Julio and I will explain what's happening during our first segment.
Has your lawn suddenly started changing colors? We'll tell you what's happening during our second segment.
We're going to talk about autumn anomalies during our third segment. Shrubs are flowering now. Why are they doing that? We'll tell you why in our third segment.
Get free perennials. Yes, that's right. It's time to split those perennials. We'll share with you how to divide your perennials in our fourth segment.
Before you put away that mower, there are a few things you need to take care of. Here are our list in our final segment.
So stay tuned. We'll be right back in the garden right after these messages. Bloomers in the Garden is brought to you each week by Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Bloomers is an award-winning garden center just 20 minutes from Philadelphia. Bloomers has been providing expert advice turning brown thumbs green for over 30 years. At Bloomers, we want you to ask us every question, even if you think it's silly. We share information in a friendly, non-judgmental way that is meant to teach and spread the joy of gardening. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center in Washington Township, Gloucester County. For directions, go to bloomers.com, and we'll see you in the garden.
Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden.
Fertilome's Triple Action contains 70% neem oil and 0.25% pyrethrins as a concentrate and ready to spray. It is an insecticide, fungicide, and miticide labeled to use on vegetables, fruits, nuts, herbs, spices, and ornamentals. This organic OMRI-listed product controls a wide variety of insect pests and diseases, including aphids, scale, spider mites, whiteflies, rust, leaf spot, and powdery mildew. This insecticide is an all-in-one bottle that will cure just about any problem you may run into throughout the year. Fertilome's Triple Action has been helping gardeners across the country for years. Best to apply in late evening and early morning hours. Mix 1 ounce, which is equivalent to 2 tablespoons in a gallon of water. The best part is Triple Action may be used up to the day of harvest. So the next time you are visiting your favorite garden center, ask for Fertilome's Triple Action and expect to have the best-looking plants in the neighborhood.
You're listening to Bloomers in the Garden Radio. Listen anytime through your favorite podcast provider or see and hear us by subscribing to Bloomers YouTube channel. Bloomers in the Garden Radio is heard in Philadelphia and throughout the whole Delaware Valley every Saturday. First, wake up with us at 6 a.m. on WNWR The Word at 95.3 FM and 1540 AM. Tune in at 8 a.m. to Bloomers in the Garden Radio on Talk 860 WWDB. A rebroadcast of Bloomers in the Garden Radio is played each Saturday evening at 5 p.m. on The Word 95.3 FM and 1540 AM. On Sunday at 8 a.m., we can be heard throughout the New York Tri-State Area on Classic Oldies 1250 AM WMTR. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the garden. Hey, welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. I'm Len, he's Julio, that's Sam behind the glass, and then we've got Aaron over here for commentary. All right, the season's winding down. Leaves are changing color. Why now? Why now? You know why? Mm-hmm. The sunlight.
That's right.
Why do hummingbirds go back to Mexico? The sunlight. Shorter days. Mm-hmm. We've got shorter days, and what happens is the chlorophyll. That's the thing that keeps. I think everybody knows what chlorophyll. Do you know what chlorophyll is, Sam?
That's the green stuff in plants.
There you go.
Close enough.
Yeah.
And so it makes the leaves green, and it basically what needs sunlight to produce food, and chlorophyll is how that all happens. And where when the sunlight changes, it signals the plant to say, okay, time to drop your leaves. And when the leaf falls, you think about this when it's a miraculous thing. You look at the leaves and then, at the ground, you think, what a PIA. But when what's really happening, the tree goes where it has that leaf and it just takes it and then it drops it so that it can't attach anymore. And it goes and heals that little scar. The leaf falls off and drops to the ground.
It's amazing.
A lot going on.
Wow.
A lot going on.
A lot is. Yeah.
That's it. And it leaves a little bit of a scar. Chlorophyll, okay, when this slows down in production, the other pigments take over. So during spring and summer, there's plenty of sunlight, so plants make chlorophyll. So many green leaves. And if you notice in summertime, some of those purple flat-leaved plants look a little greenish purple. Yeah. And that's because there's so much sun. So chlorophyll is what makes plants green. If it wasn't for chlorophyll, like we wouldn't get the other color, like carotenoid. Carotenoid. Carrots, yellow, orange, and brown. That's the color in plants. Bananas, yeah. Carotenoid, right? Yeah. Corn. Right. There you go. Carotenoid. Sunflowers, right? I think. Huh? Yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll give you that. And again, where in the trees, it's the same thing, where the chlorophyll dissipates and the carotenoid will go and fill in that place. So it makes it yellow. Same thing with red, yellow or orange, by the way. Okay, and anthocyanin. Anthocyanin is the red color in leaves. Awesome. Cranberries, apples, cherries, strawberries, but also in trees. So red maples, the native red maples that usually have a red color. Also burning bush. When you see burning bush, that's anthocyanin coming through, which are normally green leaves. So again, all that is happening as we're watching the pretty colors of the plants change. And I always say, you get as much, think of the fall leaf colors that you get kind of as if they were a flower, because you get interesting colors and it becomes if a plant has a flower in the spring and then it gets great color on it in the fall, then you've got a 2-season plant with color. Awesome. Now, did you know that if we get an early frost, that the reds aren't as intense? So if you ever wonder, it's the colors aren't really nice in the Poconos this year. And what's usually happening is that it's an early frost, so you don't get that brilliant red. But I'll tell you what, it's been nice this year. Yeah, really. This year has been very good. Really good. Overcast days where there's not as much sun increase the intensity of the fall colors. Wow. Yeah. Amazing, Aaron says. Wow. So most of the broadleaf trees shed their leaves in fall. So like azaleas, they keep the top leaves on. But you'll notice that there are leaves, like a lot of people say, I think my azaleas are dying. Right. They're not. Yeah. They're not dying. They're fine. Every plant will drop its leaves because they're maximizing the food production in that plant. And if there's not enough sun to produce the food, then it becomes basically a gateway for moisture to leave the plant. So if you drop some of those leaves, then you're not going to lose as much moisture and you're going to have a plant that lives over the winter. Wow. I have that I've talked to plants and they've told me. Oh, yeah? They told me. If you looked at your white pine, hey, your white pine's got a skirt of all dead needles under it, mostly yellow. And that pines will not drop anywhere between, depending on the variety, they can drop 2 needles or 3 needles, depending on what variety, and that they keep the residual. It's just interesting where again, everything at this time of the year is changing, and it's, you're not doing anything wrong. And like we did a segment a couple of years ago, is it dead, dying, or dormant? So we're going to probably do that one 3Ds. Again. Yeah. And most of the time it's just dormant. And that's what's happening. These plants are just going to sleep for the winter. And that's what they need to do. We commented about, as we were going to the studio today, how nice the fall leaves have been.
Yeah, they are. They're starting now, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
They are. They look great.
The greens are not as green, and they're just turning a little yellowish, and some are turning a little.
The reds to me are intense.
The reds are already intense.
Yeah,
they
look great.
Some plants, yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing how that's happening. Lad, like, there's a science behind this too, isn't there?
Oh, yeah.
As far as the pigments, there's more to it than that. If you really do a little research, folks, and you'll see that.
And what is that research, Julio?
Well, some of these pigments, they protect the plant with insects and also, from the cold and things like that. It's just not all about prettiness.
Aw.
Sorry to tell you that.
But so you're saying that because it's red, and a bug's not going to eat it?
Yeah, like that anthocyanin is part of that process where it protects it. It protects the plant in certain things like that, like insects and coldness.
Well, it's certainly disease. I mean, because again, if you've got roses or some of the plants that are known to have disease issues, make sure you're raking up those leaves and getting rid of them.
Oh, yeah.
You don't just rake them up just to get them off your lawn. You're raking them up because you don't want to perpetuate disease problems because those spores will overwinter in the soil. Just saying. Just saying. All right. Maybe your lawn's changing colors.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about in our next segment. We'll be right back. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden.
Are you looking forward to a spring of vibrancy while using the best organically approved growing media for your annuals and vegetables? Coast of Maine's Sprout Island Organic Seed Starter has been created to set a diverse culture ideal for germinating seeds and root cuttings. Created using the best ancient composting techniques and new age mixing devices, Sprout Island Organic Seed Starter gently combines kelp meal, worm castings, mycorrhiza, perlite, and sustainably harvested peat moss, establishing the most desirable setting to enhance new plant growth. Coast of Maine's Sprout Island Organic Seed Starter is available at these local retailers, or visit www.coastofmaine.com to locate one near you. Pickering Valley Feed and Farm, Exton, Pennsylvania. Ashcombe Farm and Greenhouses, Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Espen Shades Garden Centers and Greenhouse, Lidditz, Pennsylvania.
Bloomers Home and Garden Center invites you to our largest event of the season. Join us November 17th at 5 p.m. for our annual holiday preview party open house. Enjoy food, drinks, and live entertainment. Did I mention generous holiday savings? We'll be unveiling the latest in-home holiday decor and ornaments, including the Santa's Kindness interactive ornament. It's all going down November 17th at Bloomers Home and Garden Center. For more information, check us out at bloomers.com.
Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. Lawns are changing colors too, boy. They're turning red or brown and
Overnight.
Yeah, you got that right.
I know my lawn has lots of red in it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that means that my crabgrass is dying.
Oh, my goodness.
Good. Hey,
Me too.
it was green.
You're too.
You know,
Green during the
I've-
summer for sure,
I've
yeah.
admitted, and I've had I've told our listeners that sometimes I just don't get to things. I know what to do.
I've gotten over an acre of grass in my front yard, and there's no way I'm doing all of that. I just let it go burgundy-ish, whatever color.
Well, the problem is that any of the good seed.
Yeah.
Like you bought seed recently.
I did. I put it in
Don't
my
be
backyard
wasting that
though.
money.
In my backyard, I didn't do any in the front yard.
Oh, you did?
Oh, so you don't care about your neighbors. Your property values are going down. Real nice.
It's not even that. My backyard has been the project since I've been there. Yeah. I've got the same amount of land in my backyard that I do in the front, and I don't have any crabgrass in the back.
Yeah.
But I got walnuts in the front. And that's why, Walnut trees and everything in the front. That's why I'm not doing anything with the front.
All right.
I get a pass.
You get a pass.
I get a pass.
You get a pass.
There we go.
I have no excuse. I have a combination of crabgrass and now Kalinga. Kalinga is a type of sedge.
Okay.
And that's turning brown. And that you'll know if you have Kalinga. Kalinga is really pretty nice. I had a customer a couple of years ago. It's like, do you have any seed for this? It's a weed, man.
Yeah.
What happens is if you know nut sedge, it gets that little thing on the top of it, like the nut or the actual growth on the top, and that where this is like a miniature version of that, and it has like these little spur type things that come on in the fall, but then they start turning brown. And I wish they died, but they don't die. Like a crabgrass, like for instance. We tell people not to put crabgrass control down if you're in September or even August, the end of August. It's like just, if you wait till the next cold weather, it's going to be gone and it's going to die, but it's dropping its seed. So you make sure that you put down your crabgrass control, and that we're going to get into that in a little bit. Just make sure you put it down in the spring. It'll prevent it. And this spring, I missed it. I completely missed it. We were too busy at the store, and I just couldn't get to it. And I paid the price.
My Weed Beater Ultra is just taking up dust in my crawl space right now. I haven't used it. I have to use it. It's great. I have to use it.
Oh, you're that weedy house.
Yeah, right.
Julio's worse than all of us.
Oh, man, I'm the walnut house, man. You come to my house, it's too many. That's why I just stopped caring about it.
And if anybody's interested in buying walnuts,
come on down to
call
Berlin.
the hotline and ask for Aaron. So Julio, you are the Zoysia man.
I am the Zoysia man.
The Zoysia man. So Julio doesn't turn really colors; it just turns brown.
Brown, yeah.
Oh, that's so nice.
It's so nice.
That's so nice.
Julio Zoysia Zamora.
That's right. Hey, that
Zoysia.
well.
Here, ma'am, I have this great new grass. Oh, how would you like to buy it? Your neighbor just bought some.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
you have
it took over Pittman.
That's right.
Tim Orville. There must have been
1 yard at a
salesman. Zoysia salesman going yard to yard, and that's the problem.
Everything.
It turns brown. It's brown. Yeah. It looks like could it
brown?
Like is it dry? Really dry, Julio?
It's really dry. Yeah.
So back in the day, if you were smoking, you throw a cigarette on it, you could actually the whole thing could burn up.
That could, isn't it?
Oh, see, another reason not to use Zoysia. Anyway. But we've had our Zoysia discussions. I like to pick on you because of Zoysia. And it also gives us great content. But my lawn, backyard mostly, is a lot of Kalinga. And that where Kalinga, I had to go and kill it all. I mean, literally wiped it out, nuked it. Few weeks later, came back, reseeded. And I wish to say that it worked, but unfortunately it didn't because I didn't keep after it. That was the problem. I didn't keep after it. So if you have Kalinga, and again, you'll have Kalinga. It's a fine-leafed grass, but right now it has the little seed head on it where it's pretty big and it's low. It's not going to be something where it's going to be 4 inches, 5 inches tall. It's pretty low. It's only probably about 3 inches tall, and it's getting that seed head. And it is a type of sedge, just like nutgrass is a sedge. And you can treat it with sedge ender. I know that VPG has a great product for it, but this is not the time. And again, crabgrass, it's turning purple or reddish, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, good, die. Because next year, I'm putting down 2 applications of crabgrass, and you will leave bare spots for my happy good seed.
That's right.
So that's what I'm going to put it. How about, do you have any, your stupid Zoysia, chokes out everything.
Everything,
Yeah. Neighbors.
I hardly have anything.
A few neighbors underneath it. Grew over me.
Come over.
The cat from down the street, it's going in.
It's going. It does. It takes over, and all of a sudden, your neighbor hates you because his nice green grass now has a patch of brown in the middle.
Oh, gosh.
There's no way to get rid of it.
No,
other than a non-selective herbicide. But if those of you that have a good-looking lawn and you all of a sudden notice that you've got some dandelions and a few broadleafed weeds, you can still spray Weed Beater Ultra. Unlike Aaron, who has it gathering dust in his closet.
Space, yeah.
Real good.
Sorry.
Anyway, I know. 2 kids.
Yeah.
Busy life.
Yeah. Walnuts everywhere.
Walnuts. Blame it on the walnuts. There you go.
Yep.
But Weed Beater Ultra for Bonide, that will work. It can work on temperatures as low as 45 degrees. And just do a spot spraying. Put a tank together, one of those 2-gallon sprays and just hit each one. And it'll kill it so you don't have to deal with it in the spring. Again, leaves open areas. You can still do some seeding. Again, if you're putting down weed control in those areas, you're not going to get much success. But you will still get seed germination. Soil temperatures of 50 degrees or higher will germinate fescue, rye, and bluegrass. Fescue comes up in about 2 weeks. Ryegrass comes up. Gosh, are you ready for your Professor Steve imitation? He was in saying that he had that Bloomers Blend Township turf, and that was up in 4 days.
Yeah, it germinates really fast.
And that was because it had the rye in it.
Yeah.
And that if you start taking care of the ryegrass, the fescue comes up in a couple of weeks, and then the bluegrass comes up in about 30 days. So, again, it's something you still can do. And one thing, just like crabgrass, that your seed will overwinter dormant and then can germinate in the spring. But then you've got an issue when you decide in the spring about preventing crabgrass. You've got to use one that you can seed with on that first application. But how many applications, Julio, do we suggest putting down of a crabgrass pre-emergent?
We need 2 applications.
2 applications, because then you end up with a yard like mine if you don't.
That's right.
If you do put 2 applications down, what happens is that when that first application is like petering out and it's not at strength anymore, it stops preventing any of those dormant crabgrass that have been, because it doesn't necessarily germinate all at once. It's like, whoa, look what temperature it is here. Time to grow. It'll go all the way into June, and depending on where it is in the soil and everything else, it will continue to grow when it's hot out. The hotter it is, the faster it grows. 2 applications will cover you for the entire spring and early summer period, and that's what you want to do, and that's where you will get the benefits and get over on your crabgrass issue. So if your lawn is turning colors, it means that you have annual weeds in there, maybe some dormant, overwintering perennial weeds. But again, it means that you got a weed issue. So you need to start taking care of some things now. Any of the green weeds you'll be able to spray and take care of. But again, make sure that you're on it in the spring using a pre-emergent, and then you'll go from that to a broadleaf control. So, Julio, you take your brown lawn and you can have it green up sometime in June.
June sometime.
That's so pretty.
That's so pretty.
I like brown.
Yeah, I know you.
Yeah, I like brown.
You like brown.
Anyway, get out.
Come
of here.
to my home.
It's like a camel. It's like a camel covered, a wool camel coat laying on your front lawn.
Yeah, it's so cozy.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, we'll be back in the garden right after this.
Are you looking to reach an audience of over 12 million residents in the Philadelphia, Delaware Valley, and New York City Tri-State? Then consider becoming a broadcast sponsorship partner for Bloomers in the Garden. Every week on Bloomers in the Garden Radio, your products become associated with the authority in everything lawn, landscape, and garden. For more information on the Bloomers in the Garden Partnership Program, feel free to call the hotline 609-685-1880 or check out the radio tab at bloomers.com.
Dreaming of a gorgeous garden? Give your azaleas, rhododendron, blueberries, and evergreens a powerful boost with the #1 acid-loving plant food, Espoma Organic Hollytone. Hollytone is a perfect blend of natural, long-lasting ingredients that nourish plants for stronger roots, faster growth, and bountiful blooms. Plus, it's easy to use and safe for people, pets, and planet. Visit espoma.com for a retailer near you and helpful gardening tips. Espoma, a natural in the garden since 1929.
If you're like me, then you absolutely love birds. The Bird Sanctuary at Bloomer's Home and Garden Center has you covered. They're dedicated to the care and feeding of wild birds of all sorts. Want to bring more birds to your yard? Then you got to see this place. Bloomers has a huge flock of feeders, birdhouses, birdseed, and much, much more. Want to feed the birds and not the squirrels? They have this absolutely cool bronze bird feeder that will drive those sneaky squirrels nuts. They'll be moving to the next door neighbor in no time. OMG. Bloomers have these absolutely adorable birdhouses that will turn your yard into the perfect bird B&B. They carry all types of wild bird seed, suet, seed cakes, and mealworms. Bloomer stocks Lyric, Coles, CNS, Pine Tree Farms, and much, much more that will keep those beautiful birds coming back for more. Bloomer's Home and Garden Center is located in Washington Township in Gloucester County. For more information and directions, check them out on the web at bloomers.com. Bloomer's Home and Garden Center, you got to see this place.
Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. All right, Julio, say autumn anomalies 10 times fast.
Autumn anomalies.
Come on.
Autumn anomalies. Autumn anomalies. Autumn anomalies. Autumn anomalies.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Better than I did. Anyway.
Autumn omelets. That's what
Autumn omelets. I'm hungry. That cup of coffee and a scoop of, I had a granola bar. Anyway. Let's see. What does that mean? It's plants that, like, you're surprised that they bloom, that you can put them in. It's like sometimes, like, you'll get and this one especially, like, you'll get a rogue PJM azalea all of a sudden in bloom. It's like, what's going on? But the Encore azaleas and the proven winners, I don't like their name. Perfecto Mundo, double shot azaleas. Like, those are, the repeat blooming azaleas. Not bad. I mean, we have some of the Encores that look incredible right now. So again, if you're looking for color in your garden or in your landscape rather for the fall, these are some great suggestions. Okay, so repeat blooming azaleas. There's nothing really beats their first bloom, but they bloom on their old wood. And look, I'm just not going to explain it anymore. We'll talk about old wood and new wood, but you just need to make sure that you're not cutting them back, okay? Again, the Encore azaleas and Perfecto Mundo. What does that mean?
Perfect world.
Mundo?
Yeah.
Mundo is world?
Yeah.
Okay. What does cuando mean?
Cuando.
When?
When?
Yeah.
So what's that song? Cuando.
Tell me cuando. Yeah, tell me when. When will we fall in love, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Tell me when will you be mine, I think is what it is.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Show me your bank account. Anyway, so again, repeat blooming azaleas. Look for them at your local garden center. Camellias.
Oh, my goodness.
Camellias. Aaron was
Yours.
talking about getting camellias. He's
Yeah.
trying to talk his wife into getting some.
Some more. I mean, the ones that we have, we got 4 right now.
Yeah.
And they're starting to come into bloom. I have fall blooming.
There you go.
So,
All right.
yeah,
Awesome.
they're looking good.
Awesome. And I always brag about my my ones that bloom by my garbage cans in January. And, it's not the garbage. It's because they're protected and they look great. Autumn Joy Sedum right now, kicking it.
Yeah.
Every bee I think in the neighborhood is on my my Autumn Joy Sedum because they know. Like we did, a couple shows ago, we did about the bees. Bees gone crazy. Dianthus, Calicarpa.
Oh, my goodness.
What's Calicarpa, Julio?
Beautyberry. They're just popping right now.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
What makes them beautiful?
Oh, the purple berries. They're just
Like
gorgeous.
they're iridescent. They actually are shiny, super shiny.
Yeah,
they're like
great.
tiny little clusters of these miniature berries.
When's the last time you've seen a purple berry?
Well, I've seen them because we have them at Bloomers. Go to your local garden center. They're going to have this stuff. Okay. Calicarpa, beautyberry. Purple. And you know what? We have used it at Christmas time to decorate with. If we get a really sharp freeze, they don't hold up that well. But, I mean, you take beautyberry, so it's a stem of these tiny little berry clusters that are traced along the stem, and you mix that with, say, like a golden hinoki cypress, and then like a pine. Oh, my gosh. It is a beautiful combination. We're talking for the holidays. Sure. And that brings us right to winterberry holly. Love winterberry holly.
Oh, gosh.
But tell me about winterberry holly. Tell me about the birds and the bees.
Birds and the bees. Yeah, they love them. You know, just pure red berries. You know.
But, come on, birds and bees. You need a male and a female. Sorry, they need to. We're
got to be together.
I really need my love.
We got the music
voice.
if you want it.
Yeah, put it on. There we go. So winterberry holly, it needs to have a pollinator, and so there's a female and a male version. So if you have a winter holly and you're sure that you have a female, you need a male. Sorry, these days anyway. I feel like I have to apologize. That you need to have and here you go, toxic masculinity. Then you will have a better berry set on your Sprite or your winterberry holly. And they have names that they won't mess you up. Like, so Gentleman Jim.
Yeah.
He's not going to get berries, but he's going to pollinate the female variety. So then you're going to have masses of berries. So it's important to do. And you don't need one plant will do your entire yard, even if you've got a couple acres. I mean, it will. He gets around, Gentleman Jim. So, and again, you may be getting pollinated from somebody that has one or even a natural one occurring in, one of the, I guess, natives. So, absolutely. All right. Anomalies. Mm-hmm. Plants that give you color when everything else is on its way going dormant. Mm-hmm. Plant some today. Go to your local garden center because you'll be amazed. It's not over. Okay, that's not over. So many things that are looking great. Again, the camellias, when I've got those camellias that are blooming in January, we talked about last week about bulbs, how they celebrate. Wow, it's going to be, it's incredible. It's springtime. If that starts in January, wow. Yeah, it gets my heart pumping. Oh, yeah. So, again, you're looking for Yuletide is the variety that I have, by the way, of the camellia. And it's amazing. And, again, if those of you that are listening into some of our colder zones, I got to give them some protection. Make sure you're checking on label. And, again, go to your local garden center and ask because they will guide you that these are hardy here. Don't buy this one because this one's only slightly hardy. Ask about whether it's hardy and durable. Anything to add, Julio Zamora?
No, we learned another word, anomaly, today.
Anomaly.
Yes.
Anomaly.
Awesome.
Autumn anomaly. Pretty good, huh?
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Yeah, if I could only have had that in the beginning of the show. All right, we'll be back at the garden right after this. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix with EcoPeat is the perfect ready-to-use potting mix for all your succulents. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix is a blend of sphagnum peat moss, perlite, and EcoPeat. EcoPeat is a natural wood fiber from peat bogs. When added to Fertilome peat moss, it produces a superior professional substrate with an exceptional ratio of air porosity and water holding capacity. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix will ensure maximum drainage with ideal water retention. It's simply the best succulent mix on the market. Ask for Fertilome by name at your local garden center. Available at Daniel's Garden Center, Sumneytown Pike, Harleysville, Pennsylvania. Gasper's Home and Garden, 316 Tanyard Road, Richboro, PA. Your next houseplant is waiting for you in Bloomer's Home and Garden Center's greenhouse. Bloomers recognizes that houseplant choices are as important to your interior decorating as the fabric on your couch. The right plant, paired with the perfect container, can bring a dynamic change to your home. A houseplant brings life to your world and connects your home's interior to the greater outdoors. Even a small succulent placed on your coffee table has a way of connecting your living room to the Amazon rainforest. How about an air plant in your kitchen? Looking for an indoor flowering plant to add color to your plant palette? Bloomers has a large revolving assortment of flowering beauties. From aglaonemas to ZZ plants, Bloomers Greenhouse is stocked with your next favorite indoor plant. Bloomers carries a large selection of pottery and containers to match your home's decor and make any of your plants more beautiful. Bloomers experts can help you care for your plants and have the fertilizer, insecticides, leaf shine, and specialty soils you need to grow healthy and happy indoor plants. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center's greenhouse and make every room in your home a living room. Visit bloomers.com for more information. That's bloomers.com, and we'll see you in the garden.
Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. Dividing perennials is a great way to expand your garden. And I'm telling you, folks, it can happen to you too. And that's happened to me.
That's it? Did you split any? Oh, your stupid daylilies. Oh, my gosh. You ended up having so many.
I had tons. I had 24, and they started growing and growing. After the fifth, sixth, seventh year, I had so many.
All right. And so how do you know? You've got basically you've got perennials that are grown in that are overgrowing the area that you want them for. They're slowing down in flower production. And now is the time. What you need, here's some things that you need. You need some tools. You need the right tools. A good spade is a must because you've got to get a large clump out. A hoary knife.
Yeah, my favorite.
Julio carries a hoary knife everywhere he goes.
Yeah, that's right.
And nobody messes with him.
That's right.
And if you don't have one, put it on your Christmas list. I asked for my kids' Christmas lists already.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
Danielle, too. She said, I don't want to be doing last-minute Amazon crap that, Chinese-made garbage. Mm-hmm. And that's what I told my kids. It's like, don't give me your, a link to the website to buy your gift. I may change my mind on that, December 23rd. But anyway, but a hoary knife is a great Christmas gift for a gardener. Yes. They have a serrated edge. And Julio, when I'm working on the deck, I was working on the deck. Uh-huh. I used that hoary knife all throughout the early stages of the project. Mm-hmm. I had to cut some brush down and some other things. It was great. I was using this pry thing for opening bags of concrete. I mean, it was great. It's outstanding. Outstanding. And it literally looks like a trowel, but it is sharp. It's a flatter blade with a serrated edge on one side that you could use to cut down, like as a saw blade, to cut down small pieces of brush and things like that. You're going to need a bucket or a big nursery pot because you need to move the roots around after you dig them up. So let's talk about it. You're going to start digging on the outside of the root mass, and you're going to dig up about the size of a basketball. Make sure it's not wet. It's not wet. That's one thing. It's like it makes it harder to work with and everything else. You want it on the dry side. So don't start thinking to do this after a rainstorm. You're going to dig up the whole thing, even if you plan on keeping it in the same spot, because what you're going to do is you're going to divide it. If you have something that is, say, 2 feet across, you can get 4 plants out of that easy. Put back one of the sections, and then you've got 3 sections that you can plant somewhere else. So, again, you're going to dig it all up, and then you're going to go, and it's better to dig deeper. Like if you're wondering, dig deeper rather than shallower, because you may end up cutting the crown of the plant, and you may lose everything. So don't get too greedy. You want to make sure that you do it right, and you're going to be a little tired after this, don't you think, Cool?
Oh yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like dividing plants that are too small. We have people that are little 4-inch pots. They'll come in. Can I divide this? It's like, come on.
4 inches?
No. You want to risk it, you can go ahead. You're going to end up where you may have nothing left. gotta let things get established and get a little overgrown. And dailies, well, you actually have to divide them by fans, right?
Fans, yeah.
What's a fan?
A fan is like, it's like a...
They don't know because this is radio.
Yeah, it's almost like, it's like a clump altogether.
That looks like a fan.
Like a fan, yeah.
Okay.
So you have one right next to each other.
Right.
Then you can split those up.
So it looks like a Japanese fan. Julio's holding his hand out as if he's holding
this.
I'm not exactly sure what he's doing, but any case that it looks like where again it's a fan of leaves, and that it has below it is a root, and that root is what you're going to transplant, and it doesn't have to be big. You can get a lot of divisions out of daylilies for sure, for sure. Let's see, hostas. Hasta la vista, baby. Hostas split real easy. I had a Polish lady I used to buy her. She would divide her hostas, and this is way back in the day. This is back when I was still in Clifton. Wow. Yeah, so this lady would come, and I'd buy her hosta divisions, and she'd put them in. I'd give her 4-inch pots. She'd put them in 4-inch pots, and I'd give her $1 for them. Wow,
that's beautiful.
Yeah, I almost got in a fist fight over that though.
How come?
Yeah, because somebody was bragging about their great deal that they got on. This is somebody in the business. Yeah, and I was bragging about how it's only paying $1 for 4-inch hostas, and where do you get the hostas from? Anyway,
that's a deal.
That's another story in another show. But in any case, so hostas are real easy to divide. Peonies, if you can find them. I mean, they've gone pretty much dormant. But if you know where they are, you can split them. Gosh, it seems like 1 year you have rutabaga growing. So, okay, let's split them. Same thing with coneflower. Coneflower is easy to divide. Almost any perennial that's on its way to dormancy, you can do as long as the area is big enough. And you're going to dig the hole when you plant it. And you're going to dig the hole bigger than the root system. You're going to want to use bumper crop with that. That's Coast of Maine's makes bumper crop, believe it or not. Those of you that didn't know, it is a master nursery product, but they bag it for them. Coast of Maine is an incredible soil company. And then speaking of incredible soil and companies, period, a Spoma plant tone, you can put that in with it. It's all organic. It's a great feed because it feeds slow, and that you want to get the plant started, and that it is going dormant, but you want to make sure you eliminate any air pockets as you're planting. Gather it around, push in real deep, pack it in, and you don't want to bury it below the crown of the plant. Can you describe what crown is, Julio?
Yeah, the crown is the top part just above the root systems.
Yeah, so you want that slightly raised above the soil line, and then it will settle a little bit. So make sure you just give it you're going to put it at least an inch above, and you want to backfill it and really get it nice and tight because you're going into winter. And the best thing is share your plants. Yeah. Bring some to a neighbor, and the big thing is don't here, look, I've got a root for you to plant. And it's like, oh, great, don't I have enough to do?
I got work.
Plant it for them. Bring it to your mom, to your sister, to your brother, to your aunt, to your grandma. Plant it for them, because every time that will come up and bloom and be beautiful, they'll remember you. And it's a great thing. I mean, I've got some plants that are little memorials to different people, or like my mother's dog died when she was at our house visiting. Don't ask. Anyway, but I planted a garden, and I have where the dog was buried, and I don't know are you allowed to bury your dog in your yard? Aaron says yes, so it must be true. So again, I've created a little memorial garden for the dead dog. Nice. So again, it's those types of things where, it can be just sentimental just to you, So again, share your plants, but plant them for your friend. Don't go and just say, here's a box of, parts. Here's a box of plant parts. Tell them what it is and just go ahead and plant it, and they'll be happy. That way you'll remain friends, and that every time you do it, they'll be happy, and every time they see it, they'll be even happier because they know it's from you.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yep. All right. Anything to add, Jul?
Yeah, I like friendships.
Friendships.
Yep.
Julio is a networking kind of guy. He is. You are, really. You have this ministry about you that, a people ministry.
People ministry.
Unnamed people ministry.
Oh, wow.
You're a good man.
And plants,
You're a good
too.
man. Plants are the connection. I like plants because they don't talk. Anyway, all right, we'll be back in the garden right after this.
Some of our most frequent questions revolve around organic container gardening for houseplants, annuals, and of course, vegetables. Coast of Maine's Bar Harbor Blend organic potting soil is a lightweight soil mixture made with salmon, blueberry, lobster, and other composts, as well as calcium and chitin-rich lobster shells, sphagnum peat, perlite, and kelp meal. It is a great soil. And Coast of Maine's Bar Harbor organic potting soil is rich in organic material, creating lush, disease-resistant plants that require less watering, less feeding. Its rich, dark brown color provides the perfect balance between water retention and drainage needed for healthy plants. Coast of Maine's Bar Harbor Blend organic potting soil is available at these local retailers.
Tony's Farm and Garden, Windsor, New Jersey. Espen Shades Garden Centers and Greenhouse, Lidditz, Pennsylvania. Pickering Valley Feed and Farm, Exton, Pennsylvania. Dreaming of a gorgeous garden? Give your azaleas, rhododendron, blueberries, and evergreens a powerful boost with the #1 acid-loving plant food, Espoma Organic Hollytone. Hollytone is a perfect blend of natural, long-lasting ingredients that nourish plants for stronger roots, faster growth, and bountiful blooms. Plus, it's easy to use and safe for people, pets, and planet. Visit espoma.com for a retailer near you and helpful gardening tips. Espoma, a natural in the garden since 1929.
Are you looking to reach an audience of over 12 million residents in the Philadelphia, Delaware Valley, and New York City Tri-State? Then consider becoming a broadcast sponsorship partner for Bloomers in the Garden. Every week on Bloomers in the Garden Radio, your products become associated with the authority in everything lawn, landscape, and garden. For more information on the Bloomers in the Garden Partnership Program, feel free to call the hotline 609-685-1880 or check out the radio tab at bloomers.com.
Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. Hey, I know you can't wait to put that mower back in your shed or your garage and put it away for the season, but there are a few things you need to do. Look, soil temperatures are still warm enough the grass is growing, and you still have to cut. Most of the time, by this time, it's pretty much done. You want to make sure that last cut is as low as your blade can go without scalping the lawn. Don't mess up and scalp the lawn. Like we were talking about last segment, we were talking about crowns. Your lawn, your grass plants have a crown, in that if you scalp your lawn, you're cutting that crown off and you're killing your lawn. So, and you want to make sure that you don't leave, again, you've got to rake up those leaves because you don't want them to mat over the lawn. First of all, it will cover them. You'll get no sunlight at all, and that it will basically rot the plant as well as spread disease, and you also can kill your lawn. All that thing that you're taking care of. Don't stop and think you're done now. You certainly can do some winter seeding. Winter seeding is when you spread seed down that is just not going to germinate until next spring. People do it all the time, but you also have to remember that first application of crabgrass control has to be one that you can seed with, because that seed may be dormant in the soil, and you don't want to waste your money that way. And also make sure you cover it, because you don't want it to become bird seed. And it will. I mean, a lot of times people will put down seed and it's basically becomes bird seed. The birds come and eat it. So you want to cover it with a little bit of maybe peat moss or bumper crop. You want to make sure it's away. If you do use a cover like, say, burlap, you've got to pick that up. You don't want that over at all times. So I would cover it with some type of soil or soil amendment for sure. Now, Julio, what's the most important thing about cutting your grass? He's thinking.
What? When you're cutting
Here we go.
When you're cutting your grass?
Yeah, what's the most important thing? a sharp.
Sharp. Oh yeah, sharp. Make sure that your blade is sharp, because if not, it's going to ruin your grass.
Right. You end up you fray it.
It's
Right.
going to mess up your lawn.
You fray it, and what happens is that allows disease to get in, insects too.
They all know it.
If you've ever seen your lawn and you look at it from the side, I just cut it, but it looks like it's all white on the top. That white is because you don't have a sharp blade. And that it's really important to get your mower sharpened, so that way you start out in the spring with a great blade. And also the fuel in the gas tank, you want to add a fuel stabilizer, because that will protect that engine over the winter. You don't want to just say, all right, well, I'm done. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you're trying to start your engine. You've got stale gas in there, where a fuel stabilizer is very important. It's not expensive or anything else, but any of your gas-powered lawn equipment, you want to add that stabilizer in there, because it can damage your engine, whether it's a 2-stroke or a 4-stroke engine. You want to make sure that you're using that fuel stabilizer. Yeah, very important. Yeah. Anything else you want to add, Julio?
No, that's pretty good. Even my lawnmower has a battery power, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. What's the name of it?
I can't remember. But
well, it must be great.
It is.
Is it a Tesla? A Tesla lawnmower?
Tesla. I didn't know they had them.
No, but I see them.
Oh, yeah?
I see them. We did a review on where I have a battery-powered, it's a little cultivator, which is like a miniature rototiller. And that thing is 3-4 years now. It's running like a champ.
No kidding.
So, I didn't believe in it. I was like, oh, great. I'm going to replace this thing in 2 years.
It's still going.
It's still going. Still going strong. Battery's still holding it. How many times can you cut your grass on one charge?
45 minutes.
So 40, you got to recharge it after 40 minutes?
Yeah.
No, that stinks.
Yeah, I know. I have a backup.
So second battery?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Man, that's one thing. I bet you they've got deals running now on like a lawnmower. That's
you got range anxiety like they have on Teslas.
Well, I would, but with my thing, my little rototiller went great. But so you're only getting 45 minutes. How long have you had it? Is it old?
Yeah,
3 years. So you're like basically old technology.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but you don't have that much grass.
I don't have
do you?
No,
still 45 minutes.
But it's zoysious.
In your favor. It's just,
yeah,
but it still works out in your favor.
It does. It's quieter too.
Well, yeah,
no kidding.
Imagine.
Anyway, so that's one thing I would go out and try to buy. If you're thinking about doing some conversion to lawn equipment to battery power, you might find some deals out there, because they're trying to clear them out. They're not selling many lawnmowers, maybe for Christmas gifts. But that's like buying your wife a blender, or a vacuum.
She's trying to give me ideas if that's the case.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Right.
Get out there.
Right. Yeah, get your behind out in the yard, get in the garden.
Yeah, that's right.
Right, yeah.
Hey,
Right.
That's right.
somebody's got to do it.
Somebody.
But it is a joy, because the fruits of your labor,
That's where it's
you
at.
said you have people looking at your yard saying, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
your yard's kicking.
People come walking by all the time, and they say, yo, and like one of the first people I met when we moved to our house, he owns a farm kind of style property down the street from us. And he's like, when you guys got there was nothing, and now there's everything. I was like, man, that makes me feel really good.
You're making the street bloom.
Yeah, it makes me feel, compared to the house that's exactly the same as mine next door, and it's in terrible shape.
Yeah.
The landscape is in terrible shape.
Yeah. Now you become one of those customers, one of those
neighbors
neighbors that like look.
Yeah, like
Can't
what are they
do
doing
something?
now? Like every
Your
time I come
weeds
home,
are invading my property.
absolutely, I am that guy. And like I texted her, she had raccoons.
Normally, Aaron is very, very nice and everything else, but
yeah, my property value is involved. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, you need to straighten out that weed problem in front.
Oh, yeah, well,
anyway,
that's all the walnuts. You got to take things in stages, man. Stages.
Well, that's true. That's true.
I don't want to take down a walnut tree, because it's going to be 15, 20 years before I get anything else to grow back and reap the benefits of what it looks like. You got to walk in the yard this time of year with a helmet. I understand that. I'm okay with that. We're completely fine with that.
Aaron walking through with his bike helmet
Bike
on.
helmets, yeah, my kids
knocked
too.
Dead.
That's what we do. We get the bike helmets and put
Come
on.
on, Deuce,
go out and
Deuce throw them
up
at Ava.
Yeah,
I knew it.
They do. They throw them at each
Attaboy.
other. Yeah, for sure. We used to.
Walnut War.
We were playing stickball with them. I don't know if you're familiar with stickball.
Yeah, stickball.
We're playing stickball. It's baseball.
There you go. There's some other suggestions to do with your walnut tree. All right, we got to go to break. We got to get out of here. We'll be right back in the garden right after this.
Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden. Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden.
Hey, lots of chores to do.
A lot to do still.
Sometimes plant some bulbs as you're out there in your garden because you're going to get the joy of them in the spring.
Right.
It doesn't feel so much like a chore when you are like splitting perennials and you got new perennials and things like that.
That's
so,
right. Yep.
Again, but you got to get them done.
Got to get it done, yeah.
Hey, call the hotline. You've got questions about what we're talking about or anything that's going on in your house plants, your lawn, your garden, your landscape. Please give us a call on the hotline. It's 609-685-1880. Leave us a question. We'll call you back with the answer. And if you make it on the air, we will give you a free T-shirt.
Oh, wow, look at that. Whew. So you can listen to Bloomers in the Garden anytime. Search for us in your favorite podcast provider, or you go to bloomers.com and visit the radio tab. When you go to your favorite garden center, tell them you listen to Bloomers in the Garden.
Please. Tell them that you listen to the show. We appreciate that.
Tell everybody.
All right.
Lottie-dottie, everybody.
Well, is that what that is? I don't know what that means. Anyway, we'll see you next week, the same time, right here in the garden. See you in the garden.
See you in the garden.